News reporting or other kinds of things that which involve reporting or creating allegations has been something that which has been present in the media for almost 100 years. However, now with YouTube being an evolving platform and how now the shift from television has now come to a sense of online internet persona, it has now changed, as this time around it's actually now YouTube reporters that have been starting to spawn since about 2012. And who started this trend? Well, unfortunately, it was KEEMSTAR. Being a news reporter or someone that which distributes facts is something that which has its balance between actually telling the facts and entertaining the audience. Finding an equilibrium of these two things can be quite difficult. Some of these people go extremely far off the case in entertainment, where it comes to the point where manipulation is so evident, or sometimes it comes to the point where the person is so mundane and neutral to the point that the content itself is not so interesting. There are a few basic foundation things that need to be fucking kept if you're going to be reporting the news, such as these things. First of all, it is preferable that you're not biased in any way, shape or form, and if you are going to be biased, you at least inform the audience or have a segmented area of your podcast or of your news broadcast where you state that this is your fucking opinion. Second of all, whilst you can have an opinion, it's important you don't mislead or create lies within the facts you are trying to tell. Third of all, it's important that you actually check what you're fucking releasing to the audience, as you could be creating an allegation or you could be reporting something which is false, in which case could ruin another person's career. With all these three things in mind, when we think of the top 3 biggest news reporting channels, we think of Daniel Keem from Drama Alert, SCARCE from SCARCE, and PHILLIP DEFRANCO from the PHILLIP DEFRANCO Show. Essentially, we're going to be analyzing these 3 people, who succeeds in what cases and who doesn't, and essentially we're going to be forming a verdict who I personally like to watch, and if you're looking for content, who to look out for. So with that said, let's get right into the fucking news. As the qualities that I had mentioned previously, you would think that someone who would report the news is someone that is of more mundane personality, that they don't necessarily push things out of the boundaries. However, this is completely absent in the case of Daniel Keem, who owns Drama Alert, and whilst I do personally don't really like the guy, whilst his existence on this platform is even questionable and ultimately voided considering the fact the guy's been banned several times, in no way does it make it appropriate for me to say that his content is not entertaining. If you're looking for entertaining content, who else would you go to KEEMSTAR? In fact, he thrashes the other 2 people in my personal opinion, because it's fucking funny watching a gnome for 4.5 minutes rage and create the most stupidest shit, struggling to read. I'm sorry, that's nothing against people who are. that was okay, whoa, too early. But genuinely, Daniel Keem is the person who ultimately originated this form of media outlet and form of broadcasting and news fashion on this website, if we're going to be perfectly fucking honest. The problem with KEEMSTAR is that, like Onision, he has multiple personalities. A personality that is trolling, a personality that is actually him himself, Daniel Keem, and not DJ KEEMSTAR. The problem is that there are so many conflicts, and there is the same fucking person with 2 different polar opposite personalities occupying the same fucking media outlets, to the point where half the time you can't even tell if he's serious, or if he's trolling, or if he's just straight up a fucking retard. Whilst this is a video discussing his ability to actually report the fucking news, he's not necessarily capable of doing that. However, he is by far the most entertaining person to watch, with making extreme amounts of fuck-ups on the way, such as accusing a 62-year-old man of being a pedophile, or going ahead calling people cancer patients that should just die anyway, or other things, or going ahead and accusing Leafy on subbotting, when his only source of evidence is something which can't be proven, and that is an also huge thing. He creates allegations and fucking gives evidence to something that which he has no fucking proof to support that, and a lot of the time he can be quite hypocritical, stating how he gets upset when people go ahead and make things out of thin fucking air and have no substance to support whatever the statements they're going to make. And in this case, KEEMSTAR goes ahead and reports something as a news anchor when he has no fucking evidence to support that, other than his word of mouth. Because of his extreme personality, KEEMSTAR is an extremely entertaining person. It coincides perfectly. A huge thing with KEEMSTAR, unlike PHILLIP or SCARCE, is that a lot of the time he'll go ahead and actually create allegations, or he'll go ahead and source things with no substance behind them. And while at the end of the day, that is entertainment. He's creating these extreme accusations and things with that which is hyperbole, but it's entertaining. So whilst he may be a shitty news anchor, if you were looking for someone that is entertaining, you would watch KEEMSTAR, in my personal opinion. John SCARCE has to be one of the most mundane people on the website. Whilst I love him, whilst we all love his memes, the whole John SCARCE is fat, and other things. At the end of the day, if you're looking for a news reporter, you could be looking for SCARCE. However, even SCARCE to an extent, whilst he has the personality of being neutral and almost non-biased, other than critiquing things as fucking insane or fucking mental, SCARCE does not do enough research as is required. Such as a clip shown from Zapdi or Zapdi, who went ahead and actually showed this whole situation.
Okay, so a lot of you know probably that I like SCARCE. I think he's a fun guy. But holy shit, I just watched the first few seconds of his last video, and dude, he does no research.
He has a very big fan base, and he tweeted this out today. He said, "Oh, hi, copyright strike," and he got copyright strike on one of his videos that he uploaded recently.
Not recent. This video is like a year old.
Called The Room, The Search for the Worst IHE. Now, this video had around 1 million views. It was doing really well on his channel, and it got taken down by a guy named Tommy.
The guy named Tommy is Tommy Wiseau, who directed, wrote, produced, and starred in The Room. This is the first thing you see if you look up The Room.
Now, actually, I'm pretty sure I talked about this yesterday.
He did. He talked about it when Channel Awesome was also striked by Tommy Wiseau for a video on The Room, which has happened to them before.
But another person...
It was Channel Awesome. You literally just have to look at your video history.
Got a copyright strike for talking about the same exact thing in their video. So it seems like this one thing called The Room...
It's not a thing. SCARCE, it's a movie. Just... Please, dude, you're great. I like you, but come on, man. This is one Google search, and you would have had all this information. I don't like picking on you, dude, but you gotta do your job at least a little bit better. Come on.
SCARCE is a person who will report the news in an almost completely non-biased fashion, which is completely appropriate. However, sometimes the detail and the evidence that which even he gives is something that which isn't fully researched. This causes extreme confusion and actually creates lies unintentionally simply because of ignorance and his inability to source enough research. And don't get me wrong, SCARCE is a fantastic guy, and I'm sure ever since that mistake, he has gone ahead and corrected himself and he's getting better at things. As a news reporter, his personality is perfectly acceptable in my opinion, being mundane and almost kind of neutral. However, with that said, he is unable to really source enough evidence to supply things, simply out of just ignorance or not researching things enough. I guess an interesting relationship you can say between KEEMSTAR and SCARCE is that if you're actually looking for the fucking news, to an extent, I mean, he is getting better, you will watch SCARCE. For the news, if you're watching to be entertained, to laugh your ass off and watch a 34-year-old man in a midlife crisis, you would watch KEEMSTAR. At the end of the day, as I said, SCARCE is fine, he's getting better at what he's doing, he's gained so much momentum to the point where he's trying to develop what he's doing, and he is getting better at what he's doing, so I must give him credit where it's due. A perfect story he did was with the whole recent situation of the new TOS, as he spent the whole day on Twitter sourcing other people who were affected by this action. So don't get me wrong when I say SCARCE is a great guy, he is a great news reporter, and he's getting better at what he does. Philip DeFranco, in my eyes, has to be one of the most mature, sophisticated, a person with high temperament, and altogether one of the most intellectually clever YouTubers on this website. On top of being extremely professional at doing what he does for almost 10 years on this website, he is able to give the facts in a way that which is comfortable, to be perfectly honest. As I said, being on this platform for 10 years, I mean, you'll learn a lot. And Philly D has definitely learnt a lot. The production value he puts into his things, the amount of interaction he has with subscribers, on top of being someone that spends a whole video a week just engaging with subscribers. In my eyes, if you're looking for a real news anchor, which is in a more relaxed fashion, I would suggest PHILLIP DeFranco. An extremely professional person who takes care of what they do, who reports the facts. As I said, he's a fantastic YouTuber in my opinion, and he reports the news in such a way where it's not super formalized, but at the same time, it is a conversation with the audience, an intellectual conversation with the audience that engages them, that goes ahead and kind of puts his idea in and gets your ideas back. I personally don't watch that much PHILLIP DeFranco, as me personally, I'd rather be entertained by KEEMSTAR, but if I'm actually looking for the facts, I'll look at either him or John SCARCE. What I'll do is I'll watch KEEMSTAR act like a borderline retarded psychopath for about 4 minutes, and then I'll watch SCARCE to get a brief idea, and then I'll watch PHILLIP DeFranco, who really details and analyzes every single bit of information. And the thing is, it is your responsibility as a viewer, before you make an idea, that you watch several different people reporting the same story, as obviously that increases the reliability of whatever judgment you're going to make. If you are just a person who watches KEEMSTAR and Drama Alert for the news, chances are you're going to have an opinion that which is almost as retarded as a person who's clinically retarded. Rather, it'd be beneficial for you to watch as many people as you could to develop a full sense, to broaden your sense of knowledge on a topic that is trending. And with that said, that is pretty much that for that video. I want to thank you all so very much for watching this video, guys. It means the world to me. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and leave a rating. Thank you for almost 50,000 subscribers. I'll do something for that, I guess. But with that said, thank you so very much, and I will see you all in the next one.